Welcome back, everybody. Today is the second week of data analysis with Python. And as we have agreed, we will focus on Python for the first 3 weeks. So let's go to the folder. I think our folder is data analysis with Python. And last week, we learned the basics, for instance, about variables. We learned, as you remember, here, what's variables, what's data types, what are operators, what are conditionals, what are lists and loop, different types of loop, while loop, do loop, and then set and tuples, dictionary, and function. I hope you had time to revise these concepts, and today we will continue after this. And even I think we talked about also lambda functions last week. Let me see. It seems, yeah, lambda functions, as you can see here. So I think today it seems good to talk about, I can have a note here. First, I have to create week 2 because we're in week 2. So what are we going to talk about today? Let me just create a note and that will help you to follow. How about if we talk about different built-in functions, because it's really very important to know built-in functions. And we will talk about modules, the different modules, and also how to install modules, custom modules or core modules, I can call them, modules, and third-party modules that we install. And higher order functions. Maybe if we have time, we will also see exception handling, error handling, or exception. But I think before that, we have to learn Python error types. Yeah, this sound good, right? First, this really helps you to revise almost the basics, and then we go to this. Yeah, we will go step by step. Now, let me create a file. I call it built-in functions.py. Yeah, so if I am talking about built-in function, I call the name of the file the same as the topic. So it will be easy for you to come and here check. Yeah, so I would like to, say everybody, welcome to data analysis. So as you can see now, I have used one built-in function that is print, and this print takes actually an argument. Yeah, so the argument, as you can see, is a text or a string, and it takes multiple arguments. So for instance, I can pass then, yes, welcome. Yeah, I had to lift my table. Okay, so now you can just drag this up. And if you see, actually, I was in a wrong directory, so I can kill this directory or like close by clicking like this. And then I can open a new terminal like this. Maybe you can have also an option. Do you want PowerShell or command prompt or Git bash? I'm in favor of Git bash, but so I can go for git bash, and now I am in the data analysis with Python, but not in week 2. So I have to go cd week2. Then I can say Python and built-in, the name of the function, as you can see, then enter. Welcome to data analysis. Or nowadays, this VS Code is so smart. Now it has this feature, run. Just you run it here. Yeah, it has been, but in a PowerShell. But it's okay, it doesn't matter. Yes, so it's running. Now I can, another is input. You remember input. What is your name? And if you run this, it should, it's asking you here, my name is this. So but most of the time we store the values we get from users. So it would be nice, maybe I can say, enter your name. And you can save this as a name or first name. Then let's see if we are printing name. If you run, you may see enter your name, and if you see, you can write here a value. I can write, and then as you can see, it's maybe if you want to add something, some information. Now I will show you also concatenation. Maybe I can say welcome, and then the name of the person, plus the name I say. Welcome. But I don't like this form, the kind of concatenation. I'm in favor of the latest version. So you can say just F, and then you can keep the string up to the end. And you can inject the data like this. And then welcome to data analysis. Now it gives me a freedom to write like freely somehow. So now I can say, welcome Sabina to data analysis. Yep, great. So remember this form of concatenation is really good. This. And maybe if you want a year, input type, enter, what year is it? And then maybe let's see, we can inject here the year. Now let's run again. There your name, I'm writing my name, and then again 2021. Welcome to Sabina to data analysis, and this year. Great. Now let us see another. I think it's good. Can you remind me the most common built-in functions? Now we saw already a print, and we saw input, len. Now tell me another more. There, absolute. Yeah, I think for exhaustive examples, we can go to the 30 days of Python back, and we can make use of the built-in function lists over here. As you can see, there are quite a lot of absolute value, div mode, input, open. This is just to open a file, and a static method. I have never used it all. It's also a good method, enumerate, int, order. I have never used this, string, any, this is also a higher order kind of to group. Eval is instance, also to check the instance, power to make a exponential sum to some numbers. I think it's good to just make use of some of the built-in functions step by step. Maybe I can start with the absolute value. Maybe, yeah, you know, guys, absolute values, for instance, print the absolute value of -5. It should be 5, right? So there, now we have to stop this because it's annoying. If you have input, it asks you now and then, and it's annoying. Okay, as you can see, it's 5. Maybe we can also use print this the power of. So power of means, for instance, actually, even it gives kind of how to use as when you hover here, it gives you some documentation how to use. Now, for instance, if I write 2 and 3 text to argument, this is the base and the power, and I'm expecting actually 8, as you can see. But you can also make nowadays 8 this like this. So you don't have to use this. If I were you, I would go for this one instead of this. Yeah. Great. So we have used just those. Now let's open. I don't use this now because it needs opening a file. So we can make use of another time. Enumerate is also something that helps you to use it with actually very important. Now, do you know how to countries, how to look maybe nums? Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. If you see for num in nums, and you can just print num, yeah. If you see this, maybe I can print them, as you can see, but I don't know their index actually. I don't know their index. I can just print this again. How can, to get the index, we can put this in enumerate. Enumerate allows you to access the index. Now, this is not anymore just one, actually it gives you, it's a tuple now. Nums, this is actually a tuple. If you print it, it's a kind of a tuple. Yeah. So we can say the index and the num. Now I can access actually the index. Yeah. No. So it allows us to access the index. I can see some message. There's no voice. It disappeared suddenly. Do you hear me, guys? I just saw this. Great. Yeah. So it's somehow, sometimes it's important to solve some problems. I was using it just back a few days ago to solve some problem. So good. So int is actually to convert. So typecasting. Typecasting means changing one type or to another, or it's type conversion. For instance, print 2. What's the data type of this?
String.
Integer.
No, the data
type. String.
Yes, string. So even sometimes if you are not sure, we can use the type function, built-in function to check what type is it. As you can see, it's a string actually. Now, if I try to add with 4 or to another 2, do you think this operation will be executed?
No.
No. So at the meantime, let's read actually the error type, because today we will also learn error types and it will be easy for us to debug. Type error can only concatenate string, okay? Because this is a string. So string and string, we can't, string with a number, we cannot. So what we can do actually, first we can convert it to a number. Yeah, so I am converting to a number. So the result should be 4 somewhere. I think this one. Yeah. Also, I can change it to float. It doesn't matter. I can change it. Then the result will be 4.0, as you can see. Great. Float means with a decimal. Yeah. Then I move on to a string. Sometimes if I want to, for instance, concat the year print. The year is 2021. If I want to concat this, this is also again an error, right? Yeah. Type error can only concatenate strings, so I have to first change this to a string form, so I can change it like this. Yeah, then this should run again. Great. The sum is actually very good. So let's see what the sum do. Sum, and it should be an iterable. Iterable means a kind of a list, or first let me show you how it works. This print a sum, and sum is really very important when we do data analysis part, and so it's very important to remember 1 2 3, and the sum you may expect 1 and 2 3 3 and 3 6, but it may not work. Type error. Sum takes at most 2 arguments but 3 given, because this actually should be a list. Now I should get a 6. Let's try maybe also as in a tuple. I'm expecting it should also work again. Yeah, as you can see. Then it's let's try it as in also. What is it? Yeah.
Set.
So as you can see, if it's an iterable, an iterable, that is a list, a tuple, or a set, then it gives you right away. So remember, it's already a built-in function that calculates sum, so you don't have to write your custom function, but you should know how to use it. Now, if we talk about sum, it's also good to talk about max, minimum, and the length also. Yeah. Yeah, let's see now if we had actually a number like nums again. I may have minus 5 and maybe just randomly minus 1 and 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, and maybe 100 randomly, because definitely from this number, just without any effort, it's easy to see the minimum is minus 5 and the maximum is 100. Yeah, so let's do the sum again. Print sum of the nums, so I can just pass the nums here. Of course, I don't know, I don't have to calculate by heart, but the sum is 108. Then just to also check the lengths, we have this len and then nums. So you just click and it's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great, it's 8 actually. Then what's the maximum? Print and the max. Max, and if I just do nums And let's see. The maximum, as you can see, is 100, and print mean nums -5. How about median or maybe, so it's so easy to find the mean here. So mean is actually, if you know, the sum of all the observations, right? The sum of all the observations divided by the sample size or the number of samples, right? So that means Mike, you may. Okay, good. Average. You can write what is the sum. We can just, the sum is here. I can put it here and divided by the length. The length is nums. Yeah, so let's see. I'll print average. As you can see, it's 13.5. And now there is this also another built-in method is round. Sometimes you may have the data. It may say 1.97823 something. This is annoying, right? You don't want to have such a long significant digit. So you may just cut the significant digit to the second, yeah, second digit, maybe, yeah. Let's do that. Maybe, but for this one, 13.5, it's okay. I don't have to round it. Print, and then round this number. So what do you expect the rounding of this number?
2.
The rounding should be 2. Yes, but in here we have also in Python, we can import modules. So at the meantime, I will show you how to import. So for instance, let's just import the mathematics, import math. So this math is actually anything related to mathematics. Yeah. And this math actually, it has math.floor. What does that mean actually? And if I give, I will tell you, if I round this number to floor, what do you expect?
One.
1.8. 1.8.
1, yes, that's good. So it is 1. Now let's do the ceiling. The seal actually takes it to up. Of course, this seal, it will be up, but let's just change another number, which could be like 32. But you know, if you round this number, it should be rounded to 1, but if you use the ceiling actually takes up. So it round it up and this rounding it to down. Let's see, as you can see, yeah, this is rounded up. Instead of 1, it's rounded up and the value is 2. Great. And then actually this, the math, we can also get print math.random. By the way, you just write the module and then you can see the available, for instance, if you want square root of number, logarithm, the logarithm of 10 power, and also to check is none, if it doesn't have a number. And as you can see, also trigonometric functions are also here. and almost you can get anything related to mathematics. Yes, and even the pi should be here, right? Yeah, pi also, whenever you want pi, you can just get it here. And let's do print math.random. I think I'm looking for random. Oh yeah, math.random is actually not here. Import random, yeah. Yes, so random is actually by itself a separate module, so we can import it from import random. Yeah. So what is this random does actually? Random. This generates from 0 to 0.99. As you can see now, I got 0.099. But I think this random also had random.rand int, and rand int actually generates just integer. Yeah, it takes a value. So as you can rand it missing two required position arguments, A and B. That means, for instance, if you are putting 5 and 10, you are trying to generate a number between 5 and 10. Yeah. As you can see, 6, 5, 8, and 10. It's so as you can see, it's inclusive. Inclusive, that means a number starting from 5 to 10, you can use this. But if you want some random number, decimal, that is 0 to 0.99, you use this. Okay, good. But my square root is very important to know. You get the square root, math.square root of. What's the square root of 9? Everybody knows this. Yeah, what is it? Yes, it's 3. Yeah, but I will ask a very difficult question. What is the square root of 3 itself? I think is that 1.3 something? 33, or I don't know. 1.7, yeah, as you can see. So square root allows you to do that. But another good way of also to do the square root, you can say 3. After that, you can use 0.5. That means 2 to the power of 0.5, or 2 to the power of 1/2 means square root of 3. So this should also give 1.73. Yeah, great. Okay, now let's see another important super. We use it with a class. I am not sure. Iter is also relates to iter. Tuple, to change to tuple. It is also a Boolean. A filter to a filter. It's a higher order function. We've been using length range. It's very important. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Sorry. Again, what is the function of a randint? Randint.
Rand, the function.
Number 44, line 44.
Yeah.
The function. What's it? What is function of that rand?
So are you asking the purpose?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, for instance, you want to have a random number between, for instance, if I want to generate any number between 0 and 100. So you may be interested to generate random number. If you want to select something randomly from 0 to 100, you can use this. Now I'm expecting some number between 0 and 100.
Then what about the random?
Oh, just the random, this one, right? 43?
Yeah.
This one generates a number between 0 to 0.99 all the time. So okay. Have you seen? So for different purposes, you may use this one, but this generates only integers, and you can also customize it. It's you can pass argument if you want maybe 250, right? 52, 100, then it's inclusive, as I said, inclusive. It includes 50 and it includes 100. So there's a chance of getting 50 or 100 when I'm saying inclusive.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, great. Now let's move on to range. When we do for loop for I in range, we say, okay, for instance, let's print this. Yeah, print I. Okay. So this is how we do most of the time, the for loop, right? And I'm expecting, let me run this. As you can see, yeah, we can just turn off everything what we've been printing because we have quite a lot of printing and that hide our information. But what is this number? We don't need this number, just be there. And we don't need this. Yeah, everything is off now. What we have is just the last line, this one, and it will be great. Yes, we printed out. We don't have to go up to 10 because just 5 is good enough. Yes, now 0 to 4. Yeah, because to get 5, we have to put the 6 because it's not inclusive. By the way, the range, what does the range by itself does? Okay, range takes 3 parameters. Starting, as you can see, even it's starting. And then, for instance, I can say 0. And what was the value? Yeah, actually stop. No, stop. Maybe 6 and step and 1. This is by default, but you don't have to write this way. You can remove the names. The purpose of writing this, if you want to use the argument name, you can rearrange in any order whatsoever you want. Okay, that's the purpose of using the name itself. So we don't do that. So so let's start this, the 0, and the stop will be 6, and the step is going to be 1. That I'm just using the default. So nums. Let's print out this and see nums. You may see a tuple range 0, 6. Actually, it means a range 0 to 6, and 6 is not inclusive. To change this to a list, you can say list and then the nums, and by now I should get 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as you can see. So actually, that is why when we say for I in range and 6, that's why we get from 1 to 5. The reason why we get 1 to 5 because of this. Yep, I hope you noticed it. Because this actually got the list 0 to 5. And if we don't want to start from 0, we can start from 1. And if we don't want to step by 1, we can step by 3. For instance, I'm expecting 1 and then 4. Yeah, 1 and 4 only, 1 and 4 only. But you can go up to 20 and see more numbers. So as you can see, 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 3, 7, 7, 10, 13, and the list continue. Yeah, that is the power of range. So you can use it also to reverse To reverse, you just reverse the order. For instance, I can put 20 here. So your starting is here and you want to end and the step should be negative then. Now, if you see, let's see, 20, 17, 4, 11, 8, 5, 2. But just to make it formal, now, for instance, that let's make 6, and this is going to be -1. And let's see what we get from this. As you can see, our starting is 6, 5, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, but it's not inclusive of 0. So if you want really to go up to 0, so you should make this -1. Then you will have a chance to print 0 to 6. So even now you notice that you can use this to go forward or backward. Yeah, so a reverse direction. The reason why I'm just focusing on these built-in functions, one, it comes now and then, they are very important. And the second, in the meantime, we will have also a chance to see the different methods, the different available built-in functions, sorry. We saw the list, as you can see, I made use of the list built-in function, and it has been somewhere, I don't know, but it should be somewhere. I don't see it anyway. It's see here. Then let's use tuple, yeah? The tuple function, whenever you want to make some tuple, you may say tuple. So you are creating actually an empty tuple. So you may create a tuple like just putting like this, or using tuple like this. And then maybe, for instance, if I change this nums, I can call it nums, and it's going to be a tuple then. Tuple. Let's see. As you can see, I have a tuple. The difference between tuple and list. List got lots of methods. Tuple doesn't have much methods, because we don't modify a tuple. Once it's created, it will be there. So of course we can destroy the whole tuple, but we can't mutate the data. That's the difference between a tuple and the list. Both are ordered lists. They are ordered. We can access them by index. But the difference between a list can be mutable, but it's not an ordered list, and it cannot, and it doesn't have also duplicates. Do you have any question?
What about map?
Yes, the map would be better if we talk about map and filter later, but since you guys not a solid beginner, so I have to go with it now. Yeah, but it's not only map. Now I will talk about map, filter, and reduce. And so Femi, you should associate this with what we have learned during React or JavaScript lesson. It's exactly the same. They are higher order function. Okay, so what do we do? For instance, I have numbers, numbers. Let me do a numbers, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want you to modify this for me, and I need a 1, 4, 9, 16, and 25. If I want you to change this to this form, maybe one way you may do make square, right? Make or map a list function, and it takes a list, And you may change this for I in list, and then you may change. Of course, you should have an empty list here, and we can call this empty list for time being, or new list. Then I can just call it for the time being like that. And of course, new list, I have to call it here, and append, it's the same as push in JavaScript, and I times I, that means, or we can just use this. By now, after that, we should return. Yeah. Then actually, we have to call this function map list, and then we have to pass our this function. Then let's just print this out. If we print this out, let's see. As you can see, I don't see anything. Then we have, yeah, as you can see, I forgot to return new list. So if you don't return anything from a function, so what you get actually is none if it is Python, and actually undefined if it's JavaScript. Okay, now when you run again, you should get 1, 4, 9, 16, 25. But instead of writing such a long code, you may use list comprehension. List comprehension, you may say new list. I can say for I in nums. Then you just multiply it here. And then I. So this is very clean for I in. Yeah, I forgot to do this. Then if you print, we managed to do it in one line. I don't know which you like the most, but as you can see, I have this. First, I iterated the list, and then changed it to square and created a new list there. If you see the value, yes, we got new one. That's a second way. Or maybe you can use a map. Okay, how do we use a map? Hey, map, and then we can say lambda x. If there's x, just change to square that, and then the list. What's the list we have? The list we have is actually nums. Then we pass it here, nums. And then let's see the value, and then we can store this value here, new list. New list. And then let's print out, print new list. As you can see, I didn't get any value, but I got a map object because this new list has to change to be, this map has to be, it has to be changed to a list. Now I should get a value. Yep, great. Or you can change it here. I map you, and now I have to change you, so you don't have to just print the new list. Oh yeah, now we have learned. So maybe this makes it complicated. You can take this out and write the function separately. You may say make def maybe the lambda could be stored like this, and you can just call the lambda here, and it should still work, as you can see. Or instead of a lambda, you can also choose say def make square. Make square is a function that return this, and then you don't have to have this lambda, and you can just call your make square. here. So I told you that map is a higher order function. What does that a higher order function means? A higher order functions or functions that take other functions as a parameter. So this has been taken as in a parameter. So now we can say, and then we get. So you may say, we didn't call it. As you can see, we didn't invoke it. Actually, when you just pass it as in a callback in a higher order function, the iterators, the iterator value will be a parameter or argument for this. So you don't have to invoke it or call it. Okay, I think we covered quite a lot of topics. Let's have a 15-minute break and get back. But if you have a question, you are welcome. Then let's have a 15-minute break. Welcome back. Where are we? So we've been talking about actually the map, filter, and reduce, and we map. Let me tell you a secret. So the map will return a list by the end. So it takes a function and the iterators. It could be most of the time a list. Yeah. And then if you have, for instance, 5 items, you should get also 5 modified version of 5 items. For instance, let's do the common example I give, countries. You know the countries I give? Yes, it's going to be Finland, and then again Sweden, and again Denmark, and then I think it's Norway, and then Iceland. I love this example because there is some pattern that helped me to teach something. Now let's map this, for instance. Can we? Yes, I can map it in different form. Map, and then I have to say lambda, please come, and x, and then from then x2 upper. For instance, that means when I iterate, I will get each of the country. Then you just drop the countries over here. And then you just print out, of course, you can store this countries modified. So then, I mean, modified doesn't really uppercase. Upper, I call it, just even the name. Sometimes you may not get a very proper name for a variable, but I call it like that. And then you may, so as you can see, I just got an object, a map object. So I have to change it to a list, and then I will get what I am planning. Yes, so this is what I was looking for actually. Maybe, how about if you want a list of lists? Then maybe X, and then, by the way, when I say X, where is this X coming from? Maybe you can call it country, and then maybe you can also call it country, because some of you might wonder, what is this magical X? Actually, it's the iterator, okay? So now we created a list of lists, Finland, and something like that. Even we slice, let's slice out. For instance, we change this uppercase, and let's slice out the country code. The country code can be sliced out. Do you know slicing? So 0, 2, 3 will help us to slice the first 3, right? And then as you can see, now we have actually Finland, with a lowercase, uppercase, and Finn, Sweden, and Sway, Denmark, and then Norway. Yes, so map. Anyway, we start with 5 countries, and also the map is actually also 5, okay? So all the time when you map, you will have the same length of list. Now it seems time to move on to Filter. Yes, as you may imagine, filter helps you to filter out something. So from the number, let's filter out the evens. Yeah. To filter out the evens, we may say, let's declare evens, then filter, and then lambda x. So to be an even, when a number divided by 2, it should be 0, then that is even. Then we have to pass the nums, then we have to get only the evens here. Then print evens like this, you get the filter object. So we have to change it to, again, as you can see, filter object. So we have to change it to list, and list. Okay. Yeah, 2 and 4, yeah, definitely 2 and 4 are even numbers. Let's the odds. And then maybe you can just change this, the negation form, instead of equal to is not equal to this, give me odds. Then you go print list odds. And then you will get 1, 3, 5 are definitely what is this? Odds. Great. And now let's filter Finland. Which countries are with land and which are without land? Yeah. Oh, I can see countries without land, definitely. Sweden, Denmark, Norway. You do not have land, but Finland and Iceland do have, definitely. So let's filter out countries with land. Countries with land. Such an example, right? So filter and then lambda x. Then we may say, for instance, I say x in land in x, and then I have to give the iterator the list, and that's going to be the countries. I can close this, and now let's print list countries with land. And if you print that, of course, Finland and Iceland. And if you want to do the opposite, you may do this. I can copy this and maybe all together at once. And countries without. If you do without, it's a negation. Then we have to do also here not in. And without, and then we should get actually Sweden, Denmark, and Norway. And if we want to look for a country that has a way to do something, that is Norway. So we should get that, and it's easy to find based on the example I gave you. Great, let's move to the third, reduce. How reduce is actually, it's like making a smoothie or a mixture of fruit juice. You have a mango and a guava and avocado. You just put it on in a blender and mix it together and you get a juice, right? So that is what reduce do actually. For instance, it just sum up all the numbers together and it gives you total. Okay, but I think you can't get it as in a global reduce, so you have to import it. Import function tools. I think from function tools import reduce. So it has to be imported like this. Then I have to make use of reduce, and then you can pass lambda, and x and y, or a and b, and then I may say a plus b, and then I will pass the list, and that's the nums. Now I can say I can store the value total, and then if we print out the total, as you can see, you may get 15. So reduce can help us. Also, it's not only to sum up things, it may also use to concatenate strings in a, yeah, you can use it for different purpose. Okay, yeah, so we also cover high order functions in Python, guys. Great. Then let's see other, what was the, I think, let's get back to there. Based on the built-in functions, actually, I got quite a lot of things to cover, so that's really good. Yeah, now I would like to talk about sort and sorted. Okay, now sort and sorted. Sort is a method. Sorted is a built-in function. This mutates the original data. This doesn't mutate. This does not mutate the original. Okay, what does that mutation means? Actually, mutate means changing, modifying the original data. So if you change your data, then sometimes, you know, you keep changing and changing, and you may lose your original data. It's not anymore in a fresh mode. It has been mutated, it has been modified quite many times, and it's not anymore intact. Okay, okay, great. So I will show you with an example now. Let's do, I think this is too far. I think I may comment everything because we have finished this part. Yeah, up to here. I don't like to see another code. So let's do some numbers here. Nums, and I may say 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, maybe this is not good for a sorting because they are sorted by itself already, so it's hard. Maybe I can say minus 2 and 4 and minus 5, 9, 10 and 3, and again 5 and 8 and 0. As you can see, this is not sorted, right? If we want to sort, we can use this sort. To sort, it's so easy, nums dot sort. And then this sort actually has, let's see now, print the nums. As you can see, it is sorted out, and it takes actually this reverse. Is it in reverse order? If you say true, and then it will reverse for you the other side. So even it takes a parameter. Now, as you can see, the original data has been already changed. Even if you start, maybe you can copy this in a lazy way, in num1, and maybe you copied it. And if you try now num1 and print nums, both are mutated. Nums, what? Yeah, I forgot here. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, we don't do like that. What we should do, nums one dot sort. As maybe some people may do, to copy what you have here, you may put it like this, and then you may start sorting this. But if you check, the value you have here and the value you have here will be the same, because as you can see, yeah, both are mutated. So you can't avoid mutation using this sort. Then it mutates your data. But the other way, the best way, is called sorted. I can say sorted nums, then I can say sorted, and sorted is a function. Then you throw your list over here. Now print nums. If you print the nums, I will show you. Yeah, the nums, the original. Yes, you have your original data. And now let's see the sorted data. Sorted data. And the sorted nums, and let's see. Yeah, from -5 to 10. Yeah, they are sorted and they are in a good order in the way you want. Yeah. So this can also take a key, I think key, and then it can take a different key, and it can also take lambda whenever you want to do some calculation. It takes also reverse side, reverse and true. Let's see. As you can see, we reversed it too. Yeah, great. Do you have any question? This is really very important. Remember how to use sorted. It's very important. It's just copy your original data and it's sorted. It doesn't affect the original data. Your original data remain the same all the time, and it's really safe. Yeah, I think this is good enough. So now I want to give you a task. This is, did we learn when, where we get the data? Yeah, so since we are at the beginning of our data analysis course, we may get data from different sources. It could be from an API. So now, as you can see, it's an API. This API, by the way, I may show you some 30 days of React. If we go, and you will have a chance to see the different cuts from this API. Okay. So this API got a different cut. I think about 67 cuts. One of the dictionary or object contains properties or keys of a cut. What does that mean? For instance, weight of a cut in an imperial unit and metric unit. Metric means in kilogram. So a cut may, this is a Byzantine cut, and the metric, they weigh between 3 to 5 kilogram. And let's see another breed of cat. This is Aegean cat, 3 to 5. And let's see, maybe American bobtail, and maybe let's see American curl. So different cats. Okay, so your task is going to calculate the average or the mean of the cat. Yeah, maybe I can take you to the cats. Maybe you like to see different cats. Oh yeah, the cats are here. So as you can see, it's loading data, and if you calculate the average properly, you will get 4.71 kilograms. So that your task is to do this. And if you want to see the cats, they look like this, and all the information you saw here actually rendered on a web here. So I think even another form of another better way, even you may see, for instance, cats from Greece. There is, I think there's only one kind. It looks like this United Arab Emirates. There's one cat. This is good for cat people. Australian, there's one. And whatsoever, if you see all the cats in one go, it goes like this. But the point is here, you're a data analyst, right? I want you to calculate the mean of the cat from this, and I will give you 10 minutes to discuss how to calculate. And then after that, we do it together, right? Yes, let's stop the recording first. I would recommend you to use JSON formatter, Google extension, Google Chrome extension. When you write like this, I will give you some time. You may see the second or the first one. You can go for both. Maybe I think I can copy this and send for you. Very good search term for you. Then add to your Google. For me, if I remove this, I can't see this in such a beautiful format. Okay. Yeah. Now for some reason, no, that's not what I want. Yeah. Why? As you can see, anyway, this is the data, all the data. So if we have any kind of JSON data, it looks like this on the browser. It has key and value. For instance, in here, it's also a dictionary. It has imperial unit, metric unit, ID, abs. It's an abbreviation of the name. And this is the cat itself, how it looks like. You may just open it and see somewhere. Yes, this is the BC cat, and also different temperament: active, energetic, independent, intelligent, and gentle. And origin Egypt, country code, and it has a lots of properties or attributes or the key for each object. So you have a list, and in this list you have quite a lot of data. Then your actually task is to take this data out from each cat, from this, and then from this cat, and from this cat, and all of them. And then finally you add them and divide them by the number of cats. Yeah, that's the average. But how do we do? Do we have to copy this? Even it's not a very handy kind of file to copy this, right? How do you structure this? It's not easy to structure this. Yeah, this is an API, and the form is JSON. So JSON file looks like most of the time. This is a typical JSON file. So today we will learn also how to fetch JSON file. I may follow my 30 days of Python, how to do that. Okay, where is it? Yes. So PEEP, Python Package Manager, instead of just writing our own function, actually there are lots of Python packages available for you to do something. For instance, we've been importing the math module, right? So we can use all the math modules to do some mathematical operation. There are also third-party packages that we can install and make use of them. But I think before that, let me show you how to import properly. So importing modules. How do we import? If you say import and then
sorry, excuse me.
Yes.
Please, is it possible to start from another file instead of this?
Oh, we can. Yes. Yes, that's possible. Yes. We can start from another file. Yeah, thank you for reminding me. And even I can take all the this and separate, and it will be easy for yes, it starts from here. I call this a higher order function. Actually, I usually do like this. Oh, okay, good. And maybe I think the rest is not much important, but let's go to here another module, importing module. For instance, I showed you how to import the math. So this is how you import. But if you import like this, actually you imported everything what the math module. So to see what it has, you can use the dir built-in function, and then you just pass the math module and print it out. If you print this out, you will see all the available modules what the math has. Have you seen we use some of them, for instance, with the ceiling, and we use the square root, the power, pi, this is permutation, and yeah, so but maybe you want to import some of them. If you want to import some of them, not all, you can say from math import pi. This means now I'm importing only the pi. Yes. Sorry. And I do not need that. Print pi. And I should get now 3 point, and to import multiple pi, pow, square root, and if you say floor, seal, and you can continue. Tau. Is that there? Do we have this in? Okay, maybe not. Log 10 or whatever. Now we have imported like this. If you want to see if it works, the floor of 9.81, everybody should know that it's going to be, the floor of 9.81 is going to be 9. Yes. And then print seal of 3.14, the ceiling of 3.1.4. It's going to be
3.
I would say second chance, ceiling of 3.
4.
4.
Yes, 4, because it's ceiling. We round it up, not rounding. So as you can see, you can import everything, and also sometimes you may do like this. Now, as you can see with the star, this means is actually the same as almost import math, but now I don't have to say math.py. Since I imported with the star everything, I can just access them pi and whatsoever. Let's try. As you can see, 9, 4. So I am accessing all the math modules using the star. And another as, for instance, a square root, it's confusing, right? I may say as square root. So now since I am just importing only one thing, these are not known. As you can see, there is some warning, so they are not known anymore. Square root of 9, and everybody knows. Yeah. Now what we have learned is actually importing. From now on, I think you should be happy and familiar with how to import modules in different way. Yeah, you can just import it like this, or you can just import it or import some of them from math. You can import pi, or maybe the square root, or the power, or floor, power. Yes. And or maybe as in like this. You can rename it. Yeah, this is the way of importing. If I say this, sometimes there are modules that we have to install. For instance, Numpy, we have to install it. Pandas, and some web scrapers and different package. So we have to install them, and we will see that. Okay. So your task was actually to fetch this data. So to fetch, we have to use the request package. So where do we install the package? Pip. If you go to the Pip official website, this is the place where all the Python packages are. First, you should copy this pip install pip. So you go to cmd, and then pip install pip. Now we are doing how to install packages. And then enter, then wait for some time. Yes. Now the pip has been installed. Then after that, actually, there is on the 30 days of Python to check the version. You can say pip version, and you may see the version. I can see that here. What's the version in here? 21.12. What was at this point? Yeah, it was 19. Great. Let's see another stage. Maybe we can also install Numpy pip install Numpy. Yeah, it's installed for me. If your mic is muted, it would be very good for me. I will give you some time to install. I hope now you installed it, right? then Python, when you write Python, it's a double Python. So the Python interactive shell has to be opened, and it's opened for me. Now I can say import numpy as NP. Now you know how to rename. Instead of writing numpy, I can call it just NP. Yes. Now if I say NP dot array, and then if you say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm just creating numpy array. We call it numpy array. I should have stored it somewhere. I can call it NP array, something like that. NumPy array. So this NumPy array has lots of these descriptive statistics methods. I can say, for instance, NumPy array and dot mean. You say the mean of this, or if I say median, okay, then it doesn't have median for that. Yeah, so to see the available, again, what you should see, NumPy array, and we can see the available methods. So does it have, for instance, as you can see, it has sum, it has standard deviation, and where it has a mean, maximum, if it's max, then maximum, mean. Yeah, as you can see, it doesn't have a median, so we have to do it differently. So let's see the maximum for that NP array max. The maximum is 6. Was it 6? Yeah, it was 6, and the minimum NPR dot max and NPR STD, standard deviation. Actually, it's like this. STD, actually not like that. It's like this. STD. Yeah, standard deviation between the numbers. And the variance is the square of this. So it's easy. We're not learning NumPy now. I'm just showing you how to install and make use of it. So at least we managed to install NumPy as a third-party package. Now I also want to install actually this requests. Yeah, I want you to install requests. Pip install requests. I think even nowadays it is part of the Python package itself, but I mean the core Python package, but it's okay. Let's just install it. Pip install requests. Maybe pip install requests. Maybe I may show you one code. This is something that has been, so this was about fetching data.py. So in this, we fetch data. This is, as you can see, URL list. and this is the Python website, and this is actually my LinkedIn, and this is my Twitter account, and let's have also my GitHub account maybe, and I will show you how to open this at once. So whenever you have a list, there should be a loop. So for URL, in URL list, web browser open, but first we have to import the web browser. Did I import it? Not. Import web browser. Do I have to install the web browser? No, because it's a core package. I don't have to do the pip install because it's already there. Sometimes if you want to see the available packages, web browser dot, and then you will see all the available methods. For instance, open new tab. Actually, I'm using the open new tab. So that means it opens all these websites at once. Let's do that. As you can see, actually, definitely it opened my GitHub. Yeah, let's close it. It opened my Twitter account, and definitely it opened also my LinkedIn, and it opened also the Python official website. Great. So yeah, that's the power of package. We didn't write much code. We just assemble things together and it works. Now, let's stop doing this. Maybe I can, I don't even need this here, but let's do something important. If you go all the way down, actually, there's an example code about requests. What is request means? I think I have to talk about a bit in a website. If you have a website, you click somewhere, and that click is actually a request. And this request goes to the server. And from the server sends a response. And this response is actually a data as in a JSON or a text. And this is actually, we call it HTTP request response cycle. HTTP request and response cycle. If you've been in my web development course, this is very familiar to you, but it's, yeah, this is how it looks like. Maybe I have to just take you somewhere and explain this a bit more, because it's very important. I think 30 days of HTML. Okay, whatever. HTML. Yes, so on the browse, on the front end, usually we as a user, we clients, for instance, if I click on this itself, it's actually a request. If I click over here, it's a request. That means I am sending a request to the server, any click. Look at now, for instance, I'm just click this. Have you seen the refresh? It refreshed. Actually, it goes to the server, and from the server, it brought to me a response. And that's what we see. Where is it? Maybe it could be somewhere around. So from the front end, the clicking is, the downloading is, and everything we do, that's a request, and it goes to the server. And if there is a data that we're supposed to fetch, we fetch it and get back to the client with response. For instance, here on the CAT API, whenever you just click this is the request. Now, I again send the request to the server, and the server actually gave me this data as a JSON. Yes, now I want to use this. That is the request response cycle. Okay, so this is how we import requests. Now let's do that. We don't need this anymore. Import requests. Then we should have URL somewhere. What's the URL we are interested in? The cats. Everybody loves cat in here, right? Yes, don't you? Okay, we have the cats, and then actually, we don't need this anymore. Then, as you can see, requests, we have different kind of requests. The request methods, we call them get to get resource, post to create resource, put to modify resource, edit, and delete to delete resource. Because in any operation, we call this CRUD operation. I'm not sure if this is part of, if this is actually kind of a lesson what I am supposed to teach for a data analyst, but it's very important. Yeah, that's very important. So we call it a CRUD. And this CRUD, create, read, and update, and delete. So the create part is actually, again, it's a post part, and the read part is actually, again, the get part, and the update is actually the put part, and this is the delete, actually. Yes, it's also delete operation. And this is actually methods for request. Now what I'm talking might not be clear for you, but these are a request. Request is actually an HTTP, what is this, response, a request response cycle that allows you to fetch data. So today we will read, we get data from the cat API. So we don't need this. Then we say request is get, and then we pass the URL. So easy. And then actually we can get it as in response or store it as in a response. And then this doesn't say, but it doesn't matter. Response, okay? Then to check if everything goes right, response dot status code. Let's check the status code. If the status code is 200, that is everything is going right. Have you seen? Yes, it's 200. So that means we fetched the data. By the way,
sorry, excuse me.
Yes.
Status code, is it built-in function, or where do you get it from?
What? The
status code.
Status code, as you can see, yes, it's a property. If you response, now it's an object. We fetch, and then from a response, we are getting the status code.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is a reserved word. Whenever you fetch, if you have a success, you can get it. Of course, it's not only this. If you can see just dot, and then you have status code, text, content, header, JSON, and the cookies. You can get also other properties from the response. What do you have on the response? Yeah, as I told you, the request response cycle. We send the get request, and now we got the response. And from the response, we want to get the JSON data now. If I do this, I think I may print something. Oh, yeah, this is what I was looking for. Actually, now my JSON data is here. Now, that is great, but I don't like such kind of printing. So to make my printing as pretty as possible, from p print import p print, that is actually pretty print, and then just add additional p, and then when you print, it will be very beautiful. Okay, let's see that. Oh yeah, as beautiful as possible. Look at, then we will have a chance to read it at least. So let's see from top to bottom. It's not very beautiful, but at least we can see the key and the values. So what we are interested, are we interested in this? No, we are interested mainly on the weight. So where is the weight? As you can see, the weight part. So it's not easy to look at it because the data is a bit messy. Then what we can do, let's see the length. What's the length? Print length of the response. Even you may check also the type. What type is it? Sometimes you never know what type of a data you are getting. Yeah. So that actually gives you an insight, and then you will, but the printing is too much, then let's just remove the printing first, the time being. Now I have to go all the way down to see the last print. I think, what, did I forget some? Object of type response has no len. Yes, as you see, it says that it doesn't have a len. So that means it's not. So maybe I should do some status code here. That's not what I want. A response. It should be links. It says that's object type. So let's see what I'm getting. Oh yeah, I destroyed because this is .json. It should be like this, yeah, not like this. That's response.json. Now it should give me some links. Yeah, sorry, not the printing out the links of that. Yes, as you can see, we have 67 cats. So maybe it might be easy to iterate for cat in this. I want to print each of the cat, and in between, maybe we can leave some some pattern, and if we put some line, we will have a chance to see between cats, and it will not be a messy data, and we don't like to also print all at once. But still, because I forgot to use the pretty print, I have to use the pretty print. Yeah, this looks somehow better. Adaptability 5, affection level 5, alternate names foreign type, and this, it goes like that, and description, the description of the cat, dog friendly 5, it's a rating kind, energy level, experimental, grooming, hairless, and where is the weight, what we are interested the most. Yeah, this is the most what we are interested. So let's focus on that. What we do actually, let's see, weight. Then we can just do the weight, only the weight part. As you can see now, we managed to just extract only the weight. Okay, great. Then maybe I don't need this. And then just maybe I can say cat weight. And then I can just maybe weights in plural, and I might be cats dot append. And then as you can see, there's imperial and metric. Yeah, we are into metric units, right? International metric units. So we go for metric units. And maybe we can also split this value. How do we split? Let me show you even before that, before we do. How about if I split this? How does it look like? Oh yeah, because I didn't take the metric before metric, and then I can split, and let's see. Yeah, as you can see now, there's a kind of, we are not interested in this value. We're interested in this value and this value. So how do I get? This means 0, and this is 1. So you can have actually first number, first num is going to be and I can just take it from 0 and I think I made a mistake. 0, 1, 2. Yeah, the second one is second num 2. 2. Okay, great. Then we don't need this, but let's print this out. Print first num and second num, as you can see, and see how it looks like. As you can see, it looks like this, but actually it's not a number. It's not a number, it's a string. So we have to change it to number. I can change this to float. I don't use int because int, if you use int, you may lose some data. So I want to use just float. And then actually, if it is between 4 and 8, I have to take the sum of these two numbers, right? The sum of these numbers. So I can sum the num is equal to first num plus, oh yeah, yes, actually, second num. So I have to divide it by 2. Yeah, put in some kind of space and it looks good. So I don't have to now, I can just print one number just to show you how it looks, the stage, every stage. And now as you can see, 6.5 something. But now we have to accumulate every of the numbers cats, weight, append, num. Yeah, if you print now, print cat's weight, then you may have a weight of 6. Yeah, this is the data. So that means you transform the data. It's data transformation. If you remember the first day, one of the role of data analyst is actually to transform a different data. We had this API, and now we took out the cat's weight, and we can make some insight about cats. And let's calculate the average. So we learned that it's so easy to calculate the average. So I can use sum and divided by len, and then again cat's weight. And then let's see what we can get. 4.708, is that similar to this application? 478, 471. 471. So what we can do, rounding to round. So if we round to the second digit, let's do that. Yeah, 4.71. Great. If you managed to understand what I did, then you are doing great. If you don't, just please watch the video once more and you will understand it. Okay, and then now let's have a 10 minutes break. Okay, do you have any question?
Yes, Sabri, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Yes, okay. So the first question is like when you use the len function, so if we want to know the type of a JSON kind of file, so it must be in the pp print format, otherwise we are not able to use the len. Is it like this?
Yes, yeah, because if it's just the len just gives you any it gives you length for array, I mean a list, tuple, dictionary, and
Okay.
but it's okay. But the type actually helps you what kind of data are you getting, and then based on the kind of or the type of data you are handling, you adjust what method to follow. Yeah.
So, okay, so we got the answer of 67. So this 67 is, but the list has more than 67 items. So this 67 is what? 67 like cats or
67,
like how does it count it? Like,
67 cats. Let me show you. It counted this one. This is one.
okay,
This
because
one.
yeah,
This is one. This is one object.
okay, I get it.
Yeah, this is one object. And of course,
Okay.
that object, there's lots of information, but this object got or contains information about a single cat. For
Okay.
instance, if you come to, maybe let's go to this Californian Spaniel, this cat's information. So even though it contains, yeah, for instance, about me, you may say lots of things about me. I have about 20 students, but we can say quite a lot of things about you, right? So this is the 67 means we have 67 cats. Even from this API, if you saw that, we have all the cats here. We can see them by image also. But we don't do this just for you to give you some figurative information. Yeah.
Okay, so so basically it just gives us the number of the headlines of the list, if I can say it in this way.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but you shouldn't know what this means. We have dictionary. We have 67 dictionaries, that means.
Okay. Actually, I have like because it doesn't say, if you go back to the code, when you say that for cat and the list, like for cat and response, so where does it say like it's a cat? So how does the program knows this is a cat?
You can call it X, doesn't matter. You can call it X, and it just, for us, whenever we write our program, it should be somehow like an English language, so it will be easy then. So you may just instantly think that, okay, this data contains cat, but actually you can call it A or B or C or whatsoever character you want.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, actually, I was yeah. Actually, okay. Even if it's X, like how is it executed? Like.
Yeah. Because if you remember when I was talking about here in a range, this contains yes. Can we have after the break this?
Okay. Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Sure. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.